Hello everyone, welcome back to Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2024. In the last video, we did a coaching hiring of our head coach and the first two assistant jobs. And we also ran through the fourth year of the draft we've done. And unfortunately, I don't think either of the players we drafted are going to be game changers, but we kind of predicted that. I do want to talk a bit about the draft classes in this game. But before we do that, I think in the last few videos, apparently I've had some audio issues, and I'm using a mic this time, so hopefully that's been alleviated. Hopefully I'm not being too loud. So if the audio is good, then you know I would appreciate some feedback. I guess is what I'm trying to say. If the audio is good, then give me a thumbs up. If it's bad, then I'll try to figure out another way to make the audio more clear. But I'm using a mic now instead of just relying on the mic of the laptop to pick me up. It could just be that the last few videos I've had the screen tilted back too far or something where the mic picks up, but now I'm using a mic that's right in front of my mouth because I'm using a headset with a mic. So hopefully you can hear me a bit better. I do want to talk a bit about the draft classes in this game. It seems of the four draft classes we've done, they've all, or at least three of them, have been fairly on the weak side. And I think it might just be something that might just be how this game was built. I don't know that, I mean, maybe you can make a custom draft class, but it seems like the draft classes are a little on the weak side. And I'm just going to show off my nerd here of old Dynasty basketball games, but I kind of grew up as a child of the 2000s, and one of my favorite games of all time was NBA Live 2004, and the draft class system on that game is really great. Uh, y- every year it's sort of randomized as to how good or strong the draft class is. It can range from very weak to very strong, and it's actually really cool. If you have one of the worst teams in the league, you're always crossing your fingers to see the generated draft class strength be good or strong or very strong. And you're always hoping you don't see very weak when you have a bad team because it means that uh, the player you draft probably won't change that much, your team that much. So I think they had the perfect. I think NBA Live did that for a while, but I'm more familiar with 2004. It had the perfect uh, draft class system going on to where you didn't know what kind of draft class you were getting. It was randomized every year, and honestly, especially when you had a strong draft class, the rookies always mattered. Even if you had a weak draft class, your first round draft picks usually ended up being at least mediocre. And with this game, it seems like every draft class is pretty weak. And even when we had lottery picks, those guys ended up being just kind of mediocre, which that happens in real life. And maybe it's just what we've drawn in this game so far. I mean, I've played thousands and thousands of hours, I feel like, on NBA Live 2004, and I'm not exaggerating. Played I still play that game to this day because it's the way the dynasty mode on that game is. It's very simple. It's very straight to the point, and it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. But in some ways, that almost makes it better because what it does do, it does really, really well. and that's one thing I love about that game is the draft classes always made it to where you didn't know what you were going to get. You were always crossing your fingers, especially if you had a bad team, that you were going to get a strong draft class. And the rookies always seemed like you could, even if you had a poor year, at least with the first round rookies, you could always fit them into your rotation somewhere. They would always get at least, at least some playing time somewhere in your rotation. In this game, it seems like, man, the rookies are just they. Seems like they don't matter. Maybe it takes them a while to get on their feet, and I don't know. I kind of prefer uh, whether or not it's realistic or not. Maybe that's my point. Maybe my problem. Maybe it's a me problem. Maybe I need to uh, look at it a different way. But um, man, I wish the rookies were stronger. Um, I wish that they felt like they mattered more. I don't like that you're forced to use the G League or whatever it's called to sort of grow them. I know that's a thing that exists in real life, but uh, you know, maybe I'm looking at things in a non-realistic way. But um, I wish the rookies mattered more on this game. Honestly, it seems like they just seems like they almost don't matter. And maybe it'll balance out once you get a few years in if some of the stronger players, if their overalls are dwindling and they retire and the new talent coming in isn't as good, maybe it'll balance out and feel a bit more fair. And maybe it'll be where, I don't know, because the talent pool of the overall league isn't as good, that the rookies will matter more. But yeah, so far that's one thing I mean, maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe this is how it was just designed, and maybe I need to just go back to playing NBA Live 2004. But I wish that, selfishly, that the rookies would matter more in this game. And yeah, I just wish that. I wish that the draft classes weren't so consistently weak. I guess that's clearly the point I'm getting at, and I've rambled too much on that. But uh, of all the things in the world to be passionate about, it seems like one of the things I'm most passionate about is how dynasty modes work in basketball games. And uh, still have yet to find one. 20 years later, I can't find one that fits my satisfaction in terms of draft classes and even a rating system, as well as NBA Live 2004 did. That game was the pinnacle of NBA games, anyway, in my opinion. But anyway, we're going to jump into uh, this game here, and we're on the contracts portion of the off season. So let's look at the contracts. We're going to let a lot of these guys go. I wish we could uh, give Ben an extension, but I don't think he's going to jump on that. He's waiting for free agency, which really sucks, to be honest. We're going to have to let some of these guys go, but hopefully that means we have plenty of money to play around with when it comes to free agency. Like we let Matt Ramsey go there. Aaron Fortson, I would also give an extension if you wanted it. Let's see, can we give him an extension right now? He's 29. He's sort of nearing, I think once a player reaches 30, that's when you start being a little more cautious. They may start to I don't think dwindle's the right word I want to use, but it's the only word coming to mind right now. Their overall may start, they may reach their peak to which they start rescinding after that. So I don't know if I want to give an extension to Aaron Fortson. He'll be like right now, his offer is 3 years, 26 million over 3 years. So he'll be like what? Okay, so after this season, he'll be 30. At 3 years onto that, he'll be like 33. I don't know. Uh, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's make him an offer. The offer cannot you cannot offer more than a 2-year extension. Well, hmm, let's see. If you cut 26 million over a 3-year span, so that's like 8.5 million a year, roughly. Am I right about that? 8.5 and 8.5 is 17, and 8.5 plus 17 is 25.5. So that's about right. So let's cut this by 8.5 million. So let's just offer 17.5 million. That's right. Over 2 seasons. Not bad for a start, but how about this? It didn't change any. Let's bump it to 18 million. Hmm. Okay, I think he's starting to get more and more frustrated the more I offer, so I don't know what to do about that. So we're just going to leave it alone for right now. Unfortunately, we got to renounce rights on Bridge and Kenny Daniels and Josh Howard. And some great pieces going there. Joe Russell, we can let go of. Calvin Walker. Patrick Olson. Blake Flores. Let all these guys go. Yeah, I'm not giving an extension to Tyler Kitt. Unfortunately, he's only a potential 2-star, so we'll leave him where he's at. We'll give a year to Fernando Anderson. And this is sort of what we have to start off with. We got 2-point guards. What does Mitchell look like here? Yeah, he's still just a 2-star player. So I'm not going to extend him either. So we have 2-point guards, 2 centers, and 2 shooting guards. So we have no forwards at all right now under contract. So that's definitely what we will be looking at going into free agency. And we let this process. Scheduling is the next step. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with in-season tournament. So All right, so it's time for the summer league, which I wish we could just skip, honestly. It's another thing I don't really care much for one way or another. Um, let's see. Let's go to the roster and let's see who we can place. Surprised me to still put George Parker on there, but we can. And I'm going to just let the one thing I will let the computer do is decide who else is on this uh, summer league team because honestly, I wish I could just skip it. All right, so it's time for summer league play, and I'm going to go ahead and disable the computer now. It's decided who's on the team, and I'm just going to simulate through 2 weeks and see how things go. If George Parker dominates for us, I mean, he really should. He's a great player. That is the one player we have drafted that has been exceptionally good, I think. Of course, he was, if I remember right, the #1 pick, so he should be exceptionally good. But yeah, I don't know if I'm using headphones here, so I don't know if the sounds of the emails coming in is picking up or not. But I kind of hope it's not because it's loud and annoying. Today, the market opens for free agents. So we are now in free agency, and we kind of know what we're looking for. We're looking for forwards first and foremost. Uh, Honestly, we could also do with a better point guard, if I'm being honest. We have, how much money do we have to play around with? 51 million. So, yeah, we could either um, go all out on one player or maybe try to hire several decent players. Derek Spurgeon is here, which you had before on a team. Let's see. Let's look at Julian Van Vleck. He's a 3-star player. I wish that let's see, 25 million over a 4-year period. So his top team is uh, Los Angeles. He's friends with Mitchell and Fernando Anderson, but those guys will probably be gone after this season, so I can't promise him. I can't promise him those guys will stick around. I could say he'll be a building block. And it says we have to make up a lot of ground to land him, so I think we might pass on him. Let's look at TJ Crowley. He's only 24 also, so he's pretty young. Oh, I did not want to. I want to have a meeting with him first. There we go. Okay, so he only wants 19 million. He also wants to go to Los Angeles. Let's see. He's also friends with Mitchell and Fernando. They must be friendly guys. Let's see. Make him a building block. And we're really close, he says. So maybe we could land this guy. Yeah, let's make him an offer. So he wants 19 million for 4 years. Let's do that. Let's 19 million for 4 years. Let's do like a 3% raise. And that can sort of be our first offer. We still have 32 million to play with here for the next season. Let's look at, maybe we can bring back Derek Spurgeon. In the first season, he averaged 16 points a game for us. Looks like his numbers have kind of been on the downswing since then. He's also 29, so what kind of contract does he want? I wonder. Let's see. Let's have a meeting with our old buddy Derek Spurgeon. Man, Los Angeles must be the place to be. 4-year contract is what he wants for 20 million. I don't know. I almost wish it could be a slightly younger player. Let's look at Terrence Rich. Let's see. He's 28 for 4 years at 22 million. I kind of like what Crowley wanted here. He's a young player that really wasn't all that greedy. Maybe he's kind of I was gonna say one of a kind, but Patrick Phillips here looks like not a bad choice. He's 23. What kind of contract does he want? I wonder. Let's see. Okay, he wants 23 million for 4 years. It's a little high, I think. Let's see what he likes. I don't really have any friends on your roster. Okay, you can be a building block. What are our chances? Yeah, a lot of ground to make up, so maybe we pass on Patrick Phillips. Can we go back and talk to Derek Spurgeon? No, we can't, actually. I'd like to know what our chances would be with him. Let's just run one signing period, see if we pick up TJ Crowley. It'd be really neat if we did. No signings. So, okay, at least he's still considering our offer, so that's good. Let's see if we can go back to trying to speak to Derek Spurgeon. I can't have another meeting with him, man. I wish you could have more than one meeting because I'm really between offering him a contract or Terrence Rich or Patrick Phillips. whoever is cheaper. Now, Patrick Phillips does give you an age advantage. But I think Spurgeon is the cheapest of the three. He wants 20. Terrence Rich wants 22. And Phillips wants 23. So let's offer Derek Spurgeon. See if we can get him to come back. But did he not say, did I ask him our chances? I don't remember. Let's offer him a shot anyway. Let's do 20 million for, you know what? Strike that. Because if you remember, Parker was playing the 4 for us a good portion of the season, did really well. So we do need a 3 more than a 4, I believe. And we also need a better point guard. So maybe let's focus on getting a point guard. Let's look at the point guard options. There is a 5-star Jaromir Zatek. I think's how you pronounce this. He probably wants a lot of money though, being a 5-star, I would almost imagine. Let's look at Andre Voskuhl. Let's see what he. Let's see. He's really good free throw shooter. Really good at ball handling. His IQ is really good. Let's see what he would like to have. 27 million for 5 years. He's 29 though. He likes Memphis as his top team, so at least he's a little bit different than everybody else. Yeah, he likes Mitchell and Fernando as well. Oh gosh. Yeah, he would get plenty of playing time for one thing, and be a building block. I can't promise I'll keep Mitchell and Fernando. I also can't promise these things either. Um, what are our chances? We're really close. Let's try to get Andre Voskuhl maybe. Let's make him an offer. Um, let's see. Let's do 26.5 million for 3 seasons with a 4% raise. And that leaves us with 6 million if we can land these two guys. So let's run that and see where we are. All right, no signings. They are at least still considering, which is pretty cool. Do we still have 25 million to play around with? It seems more than I thought we would have. Okay. Well, let's focus on Let's offer Derek Spurgeon a contract. Let's do like 18 million for 3 years, 3% annual raise. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't think, maybe this number is skewed over here, but I think, see, that's what we should have, is 6 million. That's what I was expecting. I thought the 25 was a bit much. Well, we know he won't take 6 million. I'll probably have to go down a bit farther. We got Freddie Swigart. Can we bring Matthew Bridge back? Matthew Bridge was kind of awesome. We have a meeting with him. No, he wants to go to Los Angeles too. Everybody wants to go to Los Angeles. I don't expect him to accept this offer, but let's offer a $6 million for 1 season. And see what happens. He might not even consider it. Well, something happened. I got an email. No signings. Okay. Yeah, he won't even consider it. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I kind of figured maybe the email would be a rejection letter. I feel like we're going to have to know what these two say before we make any more decisions. We could simulate until a bid decision. Let's do that. I'm wondering if Josh Howard would come back for a decent amount. I need to look at him as well. Uh-oh. Moment of truth. Okay, so we did sign TJ Crowley to 4 years, which is pretty cool. So at least we have a decent small forward. Andre Vasco is still mulling over decisions. We have TJ Crowley, so that's the new addition to the team. I want to simulate again until Andre Voskel decides what to do. And here we are waiting. feel like that's a fair offer to him, but maybe, oh, okay. All right. San Antonio Outlaws signed Andre Voskel to a 3-year contract worth $82 million. Sweet. So we have a new point guard in Andre Voskel, a new small forward in TJ Crowley. And let's look at our makeup right now. It could be that I kind of want 4 more players. It could be we just have to go into the season and get some pickups, but I like, we can play Parker at the 4, Bennett at the 5, Voskel at the point, Fortson at the small forward, and Crowley at the 3. Or I'm sorry, Fortson at the 2, Crowley at the 3. And that would be a solid starting lineup. 3.5, 3.5, 3, 4.5, 3.5. So yeah, we would, if healthy, I think be a force to reckon with that team. So I am pleasantly, uh, I'm happy right now, quite honestly. And we still have 6 million to play around with. So if we're looking at building our bench, uh, our bench right now consists of 2 point guards. So I think we don't need any more point guards. And also a shooting guard that is pretty poor. So let's work on I doubt we'll get any 3-star players for 6 million. We'll probably have to look at the 2.5. We know Matthew Bridge won't consider. There's Josh Howard. Let's have a meeting with Josh Howard. What does he want? 11 million for 2 seasons. Or 11 million a year. So that's a little bit out of our range, unfortunately. I don't think we may even have to go to like 2-star players, honestly, from here on out. Just have like a killer, awesome starting lineup, and then our bench stinks. Might be what we're looking at here. We had Joey Reed at one point, right? Yeah, we did a couple of seasons ago. We could bring him back, but honestly, the way I'm feeling, we need at least one pure power forward. So there's Kenny Daniels, who wasn't half bad. Will he come back for 6 million? Let's have a meeting with Kenny Daniels. He says 7.5. That's not too far off. He's friends with Aaron Fortson. He says we have a lot of ground to make up, but I'm going to offer him a contract anyway. So, yeah, let's do the 6 million for 2 seasons. 3% raise. I kind of feel like he'll say no, but won't hurt to try. Hey, look at that. San Antonio Outlaws signed Kenny Daniels to a 2-year contract. So we got Kenny Daniels back for a couple of seasons. All right, things are starting to kind of fit together. I don't think we have enough money to sign anybody else in the offseason and stay under the cap. So I'm going to go ahead and let free agency finish, and we'll pick up a few filler spots once the season starts. But our starting lineup should be really, really good. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Ramsey and to Howard and to Bridge, who have been a key component in our roster, especially this past season. But I'm not one to hang on to players if I feel like I can get better options. I am one to hang on to players for sure if they're really solid, like Fortson and Bennett. I would, you know, really would like to keep those guys because they're really, really good. So why not keep them? But I mean, Ramsey and Bridge and Howard were all great pieces, and they seem to gel well together. But that don't mean we can't get better than that. As much as I liked having those players. All right, we still want at least 3 more spots. Right now we're on the rookie options. I mean, it's kind of the same thing we did with the contracts earlier. I don't really have a mind to give Mitchell an extension or Tyler Kitt. I mean, we can do better. Or Fernando Anderson. And the rest of these guys aren't rookies or aren't operating under a rookie contract. So, so yeah, I think I'll just let's just go and skip that. Then all I can do there. It's time for training camp, and uh, I'll focus on Tyler Kitt. Why not? And point guards. Um, Honestly, I don't expect Tyler Kitt to get a lot of playing time. So I'm just going to let this run its course. Kind of see what Bennett is still improving, by the way. That's pretty incredible. Mitchell improved some. So you kind of see who's improved there a little bit. It's time to assign players to the D League and also assign scouting points. So see, the way I did this last year, most of the players, there aren't a lot of international players, I don't feel like, on this game so far. So let's do a deep dive on, let's read this again. We definitely want at least a 1 to 5 star ranking on both. At least want to know get some kind of idea of what I'm dealing with. But I want to do a deep dive on uh, U.S. players because I like knowing who's overhyped and who isn't. And let's see, Scout provides a breakdown of floor range and ball actions. I can't afford a basic rating on either, but I can do uh, play style. Scouts provide breakdown of floor range and ball actions. I feel like, wouldn't you also get that in the description of the player? Maybe I'm making a boldly stupid decision, but I think I'm just going to go with having a scouting report over a play style, and I think that's what we'll go with right there. That should give us a good idea of at least the U.S. players. So let's go ahead and advance. Yeah, I guess it's time for the D-League draft. I can skip by all that. And it's time for a new generated draft class. So we'll just let it generate. All right. It's time for the season. So if we look at the roster, we're full up on point guards. There's 2 shooting guards. We got 1 small forward, 1 power forward, 2 centers. So maybe let's go get a couple more forwards and then see what things look like. So let's go to oh, here we go. Sign free agents. Let's see. There's a Terrence Bryson here, who's a potential 2.5-star player. He looks like the best small forward we could pick up, considering he's got that 2.5 he could potentially become. So let's see if we can sign him to a regular contract. Okay. And now we have Terrence Bryson. So got 2 small forwards, 2 shooting guards. Let's go get a power forward. We are a bit under the cap space, but not all that much. Maybe we might be 5 million below by the time it's over, which that's not really all that bad. Looks like maybe the best option is Michael. There's a Michael Trent. There's also a Horace Gagnes. James Click, Taj Anderson. I guess it depends on what you're looking for, but some good options looks like. Let's see, what are we looking for in terms of a power forward? Um, let's see, in terms of rebounding, Trent's a 46 and a 55. Gaines is a bit of a better rebounder. But Trent's a better scorer on the inside. So honestly, I don't know if it makes a big lot of difference. Taj Anderson is a 93 on inside scoring, and he's a good free throw shooter. Not a great rebounder. I like that rating on the scoring, though. I mean, you can see that he's a better scorer than almost everybody here is on the inside. So let's see if we can sign Taj Anderson. And you know what? I'll pick up one more power forward. And we'll call it a day. So if you want to go after a rebounding power forward, because we kind of picked up the scoring power forward. Okay. I'm leaning towards signing Horace Gainius. I think that's how you say this name. He's a decent defender, decent rebounder. James Click can hit a three, though. His rebounding numbers. You know what? Let's get James Click. I think he can hit a three compared to the others. Let's look at James Click real quick. He's got a bit of a range. His core IQ is good compared to I've lost my spot. Compared to Horace here, who's a bit of a better rebounder, but not by a whole lot, and his range isn't as good. So I think we can make a bit of a sacrifice on rebounding for a player with a better range. Let's try to sign James Click. Okay, that should give us 12 players. So this is essentially the team. I don't think it looks like a half bad team, honestly. We'll look at kind of how the depth chart lays out. Let's let's reset here. Okay. So starting lineup would be, as I suggested earlier, Voskuhl, Fortson, Crowley, Parker, and Bennett, which is an awesome starting lineup. Your bench would be Terrence Bryson. And there's sort of his ratings. Kenny Daniels, who played great for us last season. We have Click here, getting a few minutes. And Mitchell sort of reprising his role as the bench point guard. And we still have Anderson, Kit, or two Andersons and Kit to throw in as we see fit or need be. I think that's decent. I think that's as good as we could probably get, to be honest. We are 6.2 million under the cap, just a little bit more than I would like, but considering our starting lineup and how strong that looks, I'm pretty happy with uh, everything, all things considered. We can go ahead and simulate to the first game. And maybe I'll make some decisions at the All-Star break or at the trade deadline in February. We'll see how things go. Anyway, that's it for this video. It's been kind of lengthy, but there's a lot to get to with the free agency. So that's kind of what this video was essentially. Hopefully, I can get at least one more video up this week. So stay tuned for that. Still haven't pulled the trigger yet on a college basketball series, but I do think that will come fairly soon, even if it's a few weeks from now or a month from now. I do plan on doing that eventually. And with that being said, hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.